players in New England are staying confident, with James White saying, quote, everybody sees light at the end of the tunnel. So, Shannon, can you see a light at the end of their tunnel?
Yeah. That's an oncoming train to run their butt over. That's what's at the end of the tunnel. Skip, you got what you got. Gronk ain't coming back. You can't get Amendola, Hogan. You got what you got. The Patriots want you, and people want you to believe that the Patriots are load managing, that they're just going to flip the switch come playoff time and boom, boom. No, this is it. This is what you have. You can't run the football. Tom Brady, and now you're asking Tom, because your offense is not big play, you're asking Tom to continuously go 13, 14, 17 plays to get you into the end zone. Skip, did you know that the defense have allowed 14 points in 3 games this year? Guess what their record is? Over. In the last 5 games, they're 2 and 3 in those games. One game, the defense gave up 10. The next game, that was to Philly. The next game, they gave up 9 to the Cowboys. And they won 17-10, they won 13-9. So when you give up more than 14, it's a struggle. And they just don't give up 14, Skip. They give up the 40s. They give up big numbers. And the Patriots can't match that, Skip. They don't have the personnel. The light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, if the defense is going to get those turnovers like they did early on, Skip, you remember the first 8 games, it seemed like every week they were getting 2, 3 interceptions. They were getting scooping scores. Well, if you're going to get that, yeah, because the offense is not going to have to do a whole lot of heavy lifting. But if you're going to ask this offense to have to do some heavy lifting, and we knew this was going to happen, if they play a team that can score, that can get to 21, that can get to 24, it's going to be a struggle, because they don't have, Skip, they can't hit you with one play over the top unless they gadget you. They can throw the ball, run the ball to the running back, and then he throw it back to Tom Brady, and Tom throw it down the field. But as far as just Tom dropping back, and they getting 50 yards or 60-yard touchdown, Skip, that's not happening. So I don't see that light that's at the end of the tunnel that they're talking about. Look, if I were to look at this, Skip, I believe the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Texans do not fear the Patriots. It used to get to the playoff time, man, I hope we don't have to play the Patriots. Whoo! Now, with that offense, I want to play them.
Can't fix it. They're done, right?
Skip, let me tell you what. Now, how many points of the defense? They're on as far as points allowed, they're averaging less than 13 a game. They've given up 14 points 3 times this year. They're over. Let that sink in for a second.
You already said that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
we got it.
So what's Tom Brady gonna do? So if the defense hold you to 14 or below, Tom Brady can get you 15, 16. But how many times they won a game when it's in the 20s?
Okay. So why is all that? Because right now, Tom Brady is playing behind the worst offensive line he has ever played behind in his 20 years of pro football. Sunday, the Patriots were down to their 3rd string center, and we're not sure whether the 2nd or 3rd teamer will be able to play this week. And the Patriots are now plummeted down to 23rd in rushing, and they are by far #1 in drops. Their receiving core, you could argue, is as bad as any receiving core in pro football.
Carson Wentz says, hold my beer.
They're saying 27. Well, again, despite that's injury related.
Yeah.
Not when you had the full complement, right? Okay, so right now, Pro Football Focus says the Patriot receivers rank 22nd in separation. The best Patriot receiver gets double-teamed nearly every play, and that's Julian Edelman, and he's in his 11th year, and he is just beat all to hell because he is what I would call as high a contact receiver as there is out there. Because he gets hit nearly every time he catches the football. He gets hit 2 or 3 times.
He does, Skip, but it's hard to not be a collision guy if you play the slot.
That is
because
correct.
you're going to be in a lot of contact because the guy's going to be right there on top of you.
He's obviously got big guts.
Yeah.
He's also got big drops this year. He leads the league with 11 drop passes. So can Tom trust that? Well, maybe not. James White, maybe. So those are the 2 high target receivers.
Correct.
Julian and James White. Tight ends as a group have the fewest. They have 1 touchdown pass as a group, so it's not exactly Rob Gronkowski. And I can make a case that the whole group is the worst group of tight ends in the league. And you look at what Lamar is playing with, boy, every time I look up, another tight end is catching another big ball, right?
Andrews, Hurst, and Boyle.
Boy, they're pretty good.
They are.
Okay, so what does this all boil down to? There's only one hope, and I said it before the day after the draft. N'Keal Harry is a stud. I don't know what's happened to him this year. He was limited in practice this week with what they put on the injury report as a hip injury. Is that what's going on here? I don't know because they're not very
Let me ask you a question, Skip.
about it.
How did he get hurt? He played 2 snaps, so what did he hurt? Running on the field?
Was he hurt already because he missed half the year with some foot injury?
Right.
But I don't know if it led to a hip injury.
Possibly.
Could have. I don't know. He played 2 snaps in that game against Kansas City, and I don't get it because...
Almost had a touchdown.
Yeah, we have seen... By Patriot standards, 2 recent splash plays, and I'm putting big quotes around the splash. We saw N'Keal Harry catch a touchdown pass against Dallas.
Right.
It was the only touchdown in the game on a bad weather day, but he snatched it, right? Remember that?
Run over the top.
And then we saw what should have been a touchdown against Kansas City. And they were the 2, where you sort of sat back and said, ooh, I kind of like that.
For sure.
So there's one guy on this whole team who might a little bit scare the rival defensive coordinator, and it's N'Keal Harry, who played 2 snaps in the last game.
But Skip, this help me. This is why I just have a hard time, and I'm going back into my notes because Jen, I write everything down. Every
very organized
production meeting and all my notes, I write them down. And I was trying to go back, and we've been on air for 3 years, and Tom Brady's won 2 Super Bowls. And I was trying to find where we had mentioned his offensive line. And I couldn't find it in any of my notes in the Chronicle. I got it 12, 2019. I went back to 18, 17, 16, and I didn't see anything. The thing that everybody says, Tom Brady can take any receiver and make it work. Now that Tom Brady can't make it work, it's the receiver's fault.
You know what?
You've told me all along for 20 years, Tom Brady can take chicken and make chicken salad out of it. Now he cannot.
Well, he did it earlier this year. He actually went out before a game and pointed up in the stands to this little guy whose name was Gunnar Olszewski. He said, will you come down here and play for us? Yeah, I will. And you know what? Gunnar was actually playing really well. He could return punts and he could catch passes. He's on injured reserve. They lost another guy to injured reserve. Maybe Gunnar would have changed Tom Brady's life.
Skip, all I'm saying is, if you say the guy can do it, and then all of a sudden he isn't doing it, don't blame the receivers because they're still bringing in the same caliber, the same level of receivers that Tom Brady has always had. You said this is Coach Belichick. N'Keal Harry is Coach Belichick's first-round draft pick at the receiver position since he's been in New England.
That's correct.
So he's always taken receivers in the later round. And the ones that he's taken early has never panned out. So he's always gotten the undrafted free agents, or he's made the trade for he signed Amendola via free agency from the Rams. But Wes Welker was a trade, but Wes was undrafted free agent. So he's always taken lower round draft picks or free agents, and Tom Brady has made them.
Now, wait a second. You just made the case that Belichick's inability to find or acquire receivers is a liability for Tom Brady over his career.
No, because Coach Belichick probably for the first time in his life was listening to what everybody said. Tom Brady can make it work. Tom Brady is next to Jesus. Because remember, Jesus took water and made it wine. And so Tom Brady can do that. So now all of a sudden, everybody come to drink wine, Jenny, we still got water in the cup. Now we need to know what's on. Are you not Jesus anymore?
Well, at some point, you need just a little bit of help from somebody. You don't even have Gunnar anymore. So here's the point. You need N'Keal Harry to grow up right before your very eyes. It's the only hope this team has right now is that suddenly, out of nowhere, against Cincinnati, which has given up the 31st most yards in the league, that N'Keal Harry catches 5 balls for 75 yards, and you say, aha, here they go.
This is going to come down, Skip. If the Patriots are to go where you believe and many think they can, this is going to be led by the defense, and they're going to have to limit people from scoring. They're going to have, if they're what people say they are, historic, they will have to be historic. Because I was on that Baltimore Ravens team. They were historic.
You did get carried to a
Yeah, don't do that stuff. I mean, when that Ravens team gave up 16 total points in 4 games. That's historic.
Okay. So, Jenny ended our last conversation by saying Tom Brady did tweet about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I thought this was a hopeful sign that Tom kind of came out of hiding a little bit.
All of his doldrums.
This wasn't mopey Tom anymore. He was having a lot of fun. He was excited about watching Lamar. And he says, he's being self-deprecating. Me and Lamar in a 40, except on grass, he wears rollerblades.
Skip, a man, they say in Africa, they say if a black mamba were to bite you, he said the thing what you should do is just go sit up under a shade tree and die like a man. Be resigned to your fate.
Boy, I'd go to the hospital.
Tom Brady is resigned to his fate. He knows what's happening because he has nothing that's on that roster currently.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless, like I said, if that defense is going to be historically great, like they give up 12 points a game, 12-8, 12-9 now, they're going to have to cut that in half. Unless they give short fields, because that's why, Skip, think about it. With 10:35 left in the game, Coach Belichick went for an all-out block. Because he says, my offense can't move the ball. I got to give them short fields.
Okay.
That's what he's saying.
Okay, so gut feeling right now. Patriots lose their first playoff game?
It all depends on the matchup.
Oh.
You could get, I mean, it's going to, if they mess
wouldn't be a bad match.
No. I mean, like I said, you mess around and get Houston Texans, a team that can score. Now, you never know what Houston Texans, because we got Deshaun Watson, who I think he was offensive player of the week, and then next week he comes and get outplayed by Drew Lock. So I don't